I got a story for you. Story of a shipwreck, a shark, and 3 survivors. And it goes like this.
Once upon a time, a terrible storm sank a merchant ship, leaving only 3 survivors clinging for survival in a lifeboat upon the sea. The survivors included a female passenger, ship's cook, and first mate with no food or provisions. The storm passed, and the lifeboat bobbed on the sea, drifting aimlessly in the gentle breeze with no land in sight. The 3 passengers were soaking wet and feared for their lives, searching for any ship that may have heard a mayday call, but there was none. It wasn't long before sharks swam near finishing off the dead, leaving the surface of the sea clear of any trace of what occurred. Then the cook spoke up and addressed the first mate. "How long until the rescue ships show up?" he asked. "If they got off a call, I would say 3 days at the latest," the first mate replied. The passenger replied, "3 days? You must be joking. The sea is very large and we are very small. Even if they show up, the chance of them finding us is slim to none." "Some sort of radio beacon? Something to tell us where we are?" the woman asked in desperation. "Maybe in a life raft, but not one of these lifeboats. They are too old and not up to date," the first mate replied. "What about provisions? What will we eat? Where is the fresh water?" she asked. The cook shifted in his seat and replied, "There are no provisions, maybe some crackers, but they were washed out when we climbed into the boat. There probably was a gallon of water in here at one time, but not anymore." "What kind of company do you run here?" the woman asked. "This is criminal." "I'm sure it was a cost-cutting measure," the cook said, hanging his head defeated. "So now we die?" the woman asked. "Not all of you," a voice called out from outside the boat. "At least not yet." The 3 survivors turned to see a huge great white shark with his head out of the water looking at them. "I plan to eat all 3 of you, but I will let 2 of you survive for longer if one of you agrees to jump in the water first." The woman cried out, "What is this? A shark that can speak?" "I'd be more worried about what he said than what he can do," the cook replied. "He wants one of us to die so the other 2 can live for a while." The first mate spoke up, "I will not do it. I will not sacrifice myself." "What guarantee there is you will let the other survive?" "I guarantee nothing," the shark replied. "You are in no position to bargain with me. You will all eventually be eaten. I prefer my meals fresh." "What would anyone benefit from volunteering to be first?" the first mate asked. "You wouldn't have to watch me eat the others. Feasting can be quite gruesome," the shark replied. "And if you think I can't get to you in that tiny boat, you're sadly mistaken. I can tear a hole in that easily." "Do either of you have weapons?" the woman asked. "A stick, a knife, or anything we can use against this beast?" Neither man answered. "I will not be the first," the woman stated. "One of you will have to go into the water." "And who put you in charge?" the cook asked. "The first mate has rank here." "Are you kidding?" the woman replied. "The ship is gone. No one has rank here, especially over me." "Then maybe we will decide for you," the cook stated. "We could toss you over easily." "Yes, you could. But what would that gain you? You will be next. No one is going to survive this." "I agree, so jump in," the cook said. The woman hesitated and waited for the men to attack her and toss her into the water to be eaten by the shark, who was waiting patiently. "Does it matter to you?" the woman asked, looking out to the shark. "Not really," the shark replied. "But I wish you would hurry and make up your minds. I don't have all day, and I did spot a killer whale in the area, and I don't want to share." "No one will volunteer," the woman stated. "You will have to sink the boat if you want to eat us, and there goes your fresh meals." "So be it," the shark replied. But before he could disappear under the waves, another unfamiliar voice called out, "You will not harm them," the voice said, coming from the killer whale.